YouTube, what's up? All right, last night, man, was a pretty interesting game. So we got the Bears versus the Vikings at Chicago. Headline story going into this game: two young quarterbacks. Caleb Williams, second year. First year, not good. People say it wasn't the right coach. Then we get new coach in there, Ben Johnson, offensive coordinator of the Lions, and he did big things with Detroit. Everybody saw that. So, big expectations coming into this season, thinking that he's the right man for the job to kind of get Caleb Williams on the right track. Because, like I said, his rookie year was pretty rough, but rough team all around. So maybe hard to say exactly, what the problem was. But Bears fans had a lot of optimism going into the season, rightfully so. Minnesota, J.J. McCarthy, the young stud out of Michigan, won a national title at Michigan. Last year he didn't play, he was hurt, so this was technically his rookie debut. And the game started off pretty slow on the Vikings end. They actually didn't even really get things going until the fourth quarter. Chicago, though, on the other hand, started off fairly strong. Right away, Caleb Williams drove down the field, and he looked pretty good, man. Had a couple really nice passes. There was one where he was running to the right, and he threw it down the sideline, and just a beautiful pass. Like, wow, that's maybe, that's a number one overall draft pick pass right there. But you got to be consistent, though, in the NFL, because a lot of those guys have big arms and can make, accurate throws, but you got to be consistent. But anyways, Williams looked okay, man. It looked like he could get it going. He can get it going with his legs. He had a touchdown on the ground. So the Bears started off looking pretty solid. The first quarter, got a touchdown. Second quarter, I think the defense has really settled in and pretty quiet. J.J. McCarthy looked awful for the first three quarters. He actually had a pick six, and at that point you're like, this just, I'm not somebody who freaks out too quick. I just don't do it. I don't overreact. But you were thinking, man, this is definitely probably not going to be his night, at least after that pick six. Wasn't looking good. But the fourth quarter, something happened. A switch got flipped. He threw two touchdowns, ran for one. They were down in the fourth quarter, came back, won the game. And then the Bears, they just looked pretty bad down the stretch there. And like I said about being consistent, Caleb Williams has flashes of being good. There's no doubt about that. But this is just my opinion. I don't really see it with him, man. I know there's going to be people that disagree. They even say he's like a generational talent. But to me, and you can let me know if you disagree in the comments or agree, I think there could be a head case going on. And what I mean by that is you can see his body language, when you see people, quarterbacks especially, when they get too upset and they're pouting on the sidelines too much, like players, they see that. They feed into that. It's not being a good leader, and you see a lot of that with Williams. He's still young, so he could probably he could grow out of that. And then the inconsistency, and then I see some cockiness. So there's just a lot of head stuff going on with him that I think he really needs to figure out, man, if he's going to be successful in the league. But McCarthy, though, my dude looked like he was. He found a rhythm, and it was pretty cool to see because the team, really got behind him. They were talking about how at halftime, they played a terrible first half, and he did especially, and he was the one that was trying to rally everybody up. Again, talking about leadership. They're saying that's one of his best qualities because a lot of guys in the NFL can throw the football, right? Even the guys on the bench, right? These are the best players in the world. A lot of these guys can spin it. A lot of guys can catch it. But it's stuff like that, though, that not everybody has with leadership qualities, mentally being able to stay in the game and to keep others around you on track. And that's what you kind of saw last night with McCarthy, because a lot of rookies in that situation on the road, especially after a pick six, probably just would have been like, yeah, this is not happening tonight. This is not my night. But nah, man, he turned it around, and you can't say enough about Kevin McConnell, man, the coach of the Vikings. Last year, the success he had with Sam Darnold, which, hit with his time in the league, he wasn't anything spectacular. Goes to the Vikings last year, and they have a really good season. So this guy seems like he's a really solid coach in the league. So we'll see what happens with all that. But anyways, guys, pretty cool first week of the NFL. Kind of wrapping up last night with the first week. Biggest takeaway for me was the Colts, though, baby. I'm from Indianapolis. People are feeling pretty good about the Colts after that week one. But hey, it's just week one. Again, I'm not going to overreact. We got Denver coming to town next week, so we'll see how that goes. It's going to be, obviously, I think, a bigger test than the Dolphins. So anyways, guys, that's it for now, and I'll catch you guys on another one.